Now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Thomas Geboy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
Good afternoon, Utah. Happy Friday Eve. During the first half of the day, it was really quite pleasant across the entirety of the state. A little bit toasty down in southern Utah, but how can you beat this view from Kanab? This was sent in by Judy Keel. In southern Utah, still looking pretty good, but those winds are starting to increase, and it's starting to get a bit toasty as well. But this is the view from Red Cliffs Lodge in Moab, an absolutely beautiful view, but we are seeing a little bit more in the way of high clouds. But if you travel into northern Utah, we're seeing a few more in the way of low-lying clouds as we are starting to see a cold front working its way into the northern half of the state. This is the view from Utah State University in Cache Valley, where it definitely looks like spring. However, as we turn the page into tonight, it's going to feel a little bit more like late winter. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit from now. But all of this is being driven by an upper level low pressure that's off to our northwest, and that's now beginning to work its way down to the south. We've already started to see a little bit of wet weather in the northern half of the state, but what we are definitely going to see statewide will be strong winds across the state. We'll have multiple wind advisories that, if they're not already in effect, will be going into effect. One of those includes Utah County, but in southwestern Wyoming and in the Uinta Basin, we do have a high wind warning that's currently in effect, because in that area we could see wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. I think across the state we're going to see widespread gusts over 30 miles per hour. So just keep in mind, even if you're not in a wind advisory, it's going to be a windy day, and you'll see the winds really cranking as we make our way into the middle half of the afternoon, especially down in southern Utah. Winds predominantly out of the west, but as that cold front continues to move through, you'll start to see your wind switch more out of the northwest. So going to be a gusty afternoon into the evening. The winds will start to gradually die down, still going to be breezy through tonight, and then tomorrow morning the bulk of the strongest winds will be in southern Utah before they start to generally subside into tomorrow afternoon, but it will still at least be on the breezy side down in southern Utah as well. And for today, with warm, windy and dry conditions down south, we have red flag warnings aplenty that stretch all the way up to Castle Country just to the south of Price. So today in northern Utah, cannot stress enough, make sure that you avoid any burning, as relative humidity values are only going to be between 5 and 12%, and we could see wind gusts around 45 miles per hour, if not a little bit higher than that. Let's begin the futurecast 2 o'clock this afternoon. As the cold front continues to work its way to the south, there will be that slight chance for wet weather, predominantly in the northern half of the state, maybe stretching as far south as the I-70 corridor. However, for the most part, that would favor the higher terrain. Then as we go into tomorrow, we're still going to have enough energy in our atmosphere and enough moisture to produce a few scattered showers. I think the chance for wet weather tomorrow is actually going to be a little bit higher, and with the dynamics we have in place, even with cooler temperatures in northern Utah, there is going to be some thunderstorm potential. So tomorrow, if you do have any outdoor plans, especially in the afternoon into the evening, make sure that you keep your eyes to the skies. And another thing that everyone's going to feel across the state will be significantly cooler temperatures. We've already gotten to 75 degrees in Salt Lake City by 5 o'clock this afternoon. We could be around the 60-degree mark, while down in southern Utah, of course, with the front not arriving there yet, it's still going to be toasty. But look what happens as we go into tonight. The overnight lows along the Wasatch Front, upper 30s to around 40 degrees, getting close to freezing in Logan, and even Cedar City could drop into the 30s tonight. And then tomorrow is going to be significantly cooler with daytime highs mid to upper 50s along the Wasatch Front, as St. George might not even get out of the 70s. But with the colder air moving in for our northern Utah mountain valleys, we're talking about hard freeze potential. There's a hard freeze warning tonight for the Bear Lake and Bear River Valley and the Wasatch Back, and in the San Pete Valley, a hard freeze watch, as overnight lows the next couple of nights could drop as low as 25 degrees. Gardeners, take note, and even along the Wasatch Front, we could be talking about the possibility of patchy frost. That's a big change of pace. In St. George, we'll see patchy blowing dust, and patchy blowing dust will be a possibility across a good amount of the state today because of those winds. High of 97, dropping to 61 tonight, but as we go into our Friday, significantly cooler with temperatures well below our average. Then along the Wasatch Front, a slight chance for wet weather from this afternoon into tonight, and then a chance again on our Friday, maybe a few thunderstorms, but the high temperature only 59 tomorrow, dropping to 39 degrees on our Friday night. But temperatures will slowly begin to moderate throughout the weekend. We should be back in the mid-70s by Tuesday and low 80s by Wednesday.